In the last video, we looked about how to loop around a certain number of times. We used a for loop, and we looped around from 1 to 10 to print the times table. Now, you might have a program where you need to loop around until somebody has pressed a key, or until something has happened, and you don't know if it's going to loop around 0 times, 1 time, 2 times, or 100 times. So, we have to use something called a while loop, and that's what we're going to look at today. Now we start off by asking a question. The question is going to be, which way? Now this could be an adventure game, and the player is standing in the forest, and we say, which way do you want to go? Do you want to go north, or south, or east, or west? Now we've asked them the question, and we're going to get a reply from the keyboard as to which direction they want to go. But to start with, we don't know which direction they're going to go. So to start with, we're going to make an empty variable called direction, and we're just going to have an empty string. Remember, string was letters and numbers from the keyboard. And if you just open close speech marks, it makes an empty string. So at the moment, we haven't got any direction because we don't know which way they're going. Now we want to loop around until they type in either north, south, east, or west. So as I said, we're using a while loop. So we say while direction is not equal to north, and notice exclamation mark equals means not equal to. Now that's just going to loop around at the moment while direction is not equal to north. Now if we want to keep looping until it's not equal to south, east, or west, we have to put in the direction not equal to south. This is where sometimes people go wrong. They sometimes just type in while direction is not north and not south and not east and not west. Now you have to put direction is not south and direction is not east. And finally, of course, direction is not west. Now it is quite a long line of code, but we have got those 4 conditions, so we have got to check for all 4 of them. So it does make the code a little bit long, but that's okay. We'll zip back across to the beginning of the line. Notice I put a semicolon at the end. Sometimes people miss that one out as well. But for loops and if statements, they all need semicolons at the end, and so does a while loop. So, while the direction is not north, south, east, or west, we want to loop around. Now what are we going to do inside our loop? Well, obviously we need to get something from the keyboard. Now, the command for getting something from the keyboard is input, so we say direction equals input. If the user types north, south, east, or west, we're going to jump out of the loop. Now, so we know that this has happened, let's just put a little print line in just to give us a message so we know that our program has finished going around the loop and is carrying on with the rest of the program. So let's put a message, off we go. So next thing to do is let's test and see if this program does what we want it to do. So let's press F5 on the keyboard, press OK to save. Now let's type in something other than north, south, east, or west. So we'll type in dog, and it doesn't jump out the loop. And I type in north, but check this carefully, because when I type in north this time, it still isn't going to jump out of the loop. That's because when I type north a third time, it does. Now this is because I typed in north the third time with lowercase letters, no capital N. And if you notice in my while loop is looking for north all in little letters. So that might be a little bit of a problem. If people decide to type in north, south, east, or west with capital letters or all capital letters, it's not going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to add something to the end of our input line. We're going to add lower open close brackets. Now what that's going to do is it's going to take something from the keyboard in our input command and force it to become lowercase letters, which means if it's a capital J, it becomes a little j. If it's a little j, it stays a little j. So let's just try it. So we run our program, and we're going to type in south, but with a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters, and it accepts it, because it converts all of it into lowercase, and that is a valid response. South in lowercase jumps out of the loop. So, that's the first part done. Our program is looping round until we type in either north, south, east, or west. The last little thing we'll do on this program for today is we're going to do some different print lines depending on what's happened. So if the direction they typed in was west, we'll say one message. If they've typed in north, south or east, we'll print out another message. Now we've done if statements before, I think it was our second little lesson. Therefore, if you're not sure about if statements, pop back and have a look at that. Remember, you need a semicolon at the end of the if and at the end of the else. And to get out of our loop, we must have either typed in north, south, east or west. So west says off we go into the sunset, and north, south or east must say off we go. Let's just try it with east, and it says off we go. And what we'll do is run it again and try with west, and it says off we go into the sunset. So our if statement has worked, and this could be the basis of some little adventure game. We can give lots more options and we can carry on with the adventure.